It's the eve of Independence Day here at the Ola Future Factory, and Bhavesh Agarwal has just unveiled 4 new concept motorcycles from Ola. Now these motorcycles, they are in various stages of production. There's one which is a running prototype which they actually rode out. We'll save that one for the end, but before that we're going to get you through 3 other concept motorcycles that they've showcased. One is a super sport, which is what you're seeing behind me. They call it the Diamond Head. They've got a cruiser concept, they've got an adventure concept, and closest to production is the Roadster concept. Let's dive into all these 3 motorcycles, 4 motorcycles in fact, and see what they're all about. So the first motorcycle we're going to be talking about is this one here. This is their super sport concept. They're calling it the Diamond Head because of the way it looks, honestly. Up front you've got a very simple Cybertruck inspired front end. So you've got a light bar and you've got this really angular shape all across. The whole bike has a lot of angles. So the swing arm, the panels on the side, the front end, they're all very angular. The platform is a common platform across all the 4 motorcycles. So you've got a battery which acts as a stress member. Onto that you've got a steering head attached which holds your suspension, your handlebars and all of that, and at the rear you've got a swing arm as a subframe for your seat. Now this is obviously a fully fed motorcycle. You've got clip-on handlebars, you've got levers on both sides. So obviously there's no clutch here because this is electric, but you've got 2 brake levers on either handlebar. So you've got a really interesting front suspension concept which is similar to Bimota's motorcycles, and you've got twin discs up front with rotors that are actually mounted underneath. So not in the traditional position, but they're mounted under the discs, which is interesting. I wonder how much dirt they'll pick up. But again, this is a concept, so a lot of it is going to change when it goes into production. At the rear, you'll notice a cowl for the rear wheel. Obviously, this has been done in the interest of aerodynamics. Super sport motorcycle, aerodynamics are everything. This actually is belt drive. So the other 3 concepts here are chain drives. This particular motorcycle is belt drive. The rear foot pegs caught my eye. They've got a sport and a comfort setting, so they are adjustable within their space and you can switch them between sport and comfortable to change the rider's triangle on the go. This is the Ola Diamond Head. Now let's head to the other motorcycles and see what they're like. Now the second motorcycle concept over here is the Cruiser. It's a more traditional cruiser in that it's got a laid back rider's triangle. The pegs are forward set, the seat is rear set, and you've got this really relaxed handlebar and this kicked out forks. Now again, this is a similar concept to the first motorcycle where the battery is a stress member and everything is attached to that, but here you get traditional telescopic forks, and at the rear you get a monoshock. You've got a fat rear tire, chain drive on this one, no exhaust pipes obviously because it's electric, and here again you've got 2 levers on the front and a large digital display. The Ola scooter already has a large digital display, so you can expect these motorcycles to continue in that line of techie displays for their motorcycle. This is the Cruiser. It looks more complete than the Super Sport and it looks like a handsome bike, and cruisers are generally heavy motorcycles, so the heavy batteries will fit well into this format of motorcycle. Now we're coming to the interesting stuff. This is the adventure concept, and it looks like a traditional upright adventure motorcycle. Up front you've got a really pointy front end, you've got a neat looking DRL signature, you've got a windscreen, and you've got traditional adventure motorcycle stance. Now you've got long travel suspension, you've got USDs up front, a monoshock in the rear. Right here they don't seem to be adjustable. I don't know what you're going to get on the final production bike. You've got a 19-inch front spoked wheel, 17-inch rear wheel, and you've got knobby tires on them. The seat, it's fairly flat, fairly nice looking, and like the other motorcycles here, again the battery is going to be the stress member and everything is built around it. This adventure bike is also chain drive, so you've got the motor mounted right behind the battery. You can probably see where it's circled. The red line is probably where the motor is mounted, and then you've got a chain drive to the rear wheel. Disc brakes on this, you've got a single disc up front, you've got another disc at the rear, and you've got a fair amount of space for luggage. So you've got a tail section which sticks out over there, you can mount a tail bag over there, and you've got room for panniers as well. Keeping with the adventure motorcycle theme, you've got knuckle protectors, and you've got again your brakes both mounted on the handlebar, so your front and rear brake on the handlebar. Right here near the peg you'll see there's nothing over there. Adventure bikes, well, this one's going to be heavy with all the batteries, and especially since the batteries are going to be higher up. So how these motorcycles ride is yet to be seen. We don't know too much about them. We don't know their specs, we don't know their weight, we don't know how they're going to perform. But as of now, this is what you see. And if the production motorcycles are anything like what you see over here, this will be a neat looking motorcycle for sure. Now this is the fourth concept over here from Ola. It's called the Roadster, and honestly it's the most complete of the lot. This is a working prototype and they actually rode it onto the stage yesterday. What you get here is the same platform as before, but you get upside down telescopic front forks over here. You get a twin disc setup up front with bi-brake brakes. You get an 18-inch front wheel, a 17-inch rear wheel with Michelin Road 6 rubber. And over here is where you can actually see how the platform comes together. So you've got your steering head mounted straight onto the battery. You've got a swing arm which is again connected to the battery. This is where your motor sits and sends a drive through a chain to the rear wheel, and you've got a separate subframe over here for your rear seat. This is a nice lithe looking motorcycle, but I must say that where the battery is, it is fairly wide. Again, this is slightly different from the others in that it has no lever on the left hand side of the handlebar, but you get a traditional brake, a foot brake for your rear brakes on this motorcycle. Why is that the case? Well, this is obviously closer to production, and this is probably what the production motorcycles are going to look like. Monoshock at the rear, neat looking bike. You've got a screen again over there. The design language is very minimal. It sort of fits in with the rest of the motorcycles over here, and you've got the Ola logo on the flanks. Now, this bike is supposed to go into production as early as next year. Like I said earlier, we don't know too much about the motorcycle in terms of their specs, in terms of their weights, but Bhavesh Agarwal did say that this is going to be the most powerful electric motorcycle on sale in the country. By that measure, we know it's going to be more powerful than the ultraviolet F77, which is already on sale. So that's it for the unveils for Ola this Independence Day. When they go into production, what they're all about, we'll know only at a later date. But what I really do hope is that these motorcycles, they go through better testing and validation compared to what the Ola S1 went through. There were very real issues with the S1 when it was launched on the software front and even on the quality front of the hardware. These motorcycles, they genuinely look promising, and as an enthusiast, I mean, I'm going to have to ride them to give you a proper verdict on them, but on first glance, they do look nice. And if Ola can iron out its production issues, get good, solid, tested, validated, high quality motorcycles to stores and to customers, these will definitely do well.